How's it going, everyone? I'm Nathan, and you can find me on Twitter and on Magic Online as Great Nate. I'm going to be piloting Blue White Red Geist through a couple of two-mans today. I'd like to do a daily event, but I really don't have time, and I'm just kind of going to try to get a couple of games in between now and dinner. So the version of Blue White Red Geist that we're piloting is sort of a culmination of a lot of testing and also just some theory, so to speak. The testing is that 1, Elspeth Knight Errant is good. 2 is probably too many. The deck runs enough legendary creatures that just sometimes you draw multiples of too many things and you get your hand clogged. Going back to when I used to run Thunderbolt Hellkite, I like having the finisher. Sometimes it's nice to be able to, swing with Geist and a dragon and get a bunch of damage in. It is also nice to sort of have the Restoration Angel package in here. Combos nicely sometimes with Snapcaster Mage or Vendilion Click. Just adds a little bit of synergy to the deck. Drop the Spell Snare count from 3 to 2. I wanted to get rid of it altogether, but I think having a couple is correct. Drop the 3rd Remand, and I knew before I was running 3 remands and 2 mana leaks, and the reason was to try to get more remands to sort of time walk the opponent so we can get closer to our mid-range spells. But what I'm going for with this version of the deck is kind of versatility. I have the Spell Snares, I have the remands, I have the leaks, I have the Electrolyzes, the Cryptics, the Finisher, the Restoration Angel, the Planeswalker. It's kind of got a little bit of everything. The way I fit the Electrolyze in was, well, one of the ways was by dropping a Lightning Helix. Naya aggro isn't as prevalent as it was, and I don't think, as it was before when everybody was very afraid of it. And if we're dropping a Lightning Helix, we do lose some of our burn. However, bringing it into Electrolyze, I think, kind of makes up for that. So this is the configuration we're going to run. In the sideboard right now, we have the Other Path to Exile, and that's just for, when we run against decks where we need an extra path. Rest in Peace for Birthing Pod and Living End. Stony Silence for Affinity and other artifact decks. Tron. Hallowed Burial is kind of our answer to Thrun. And the reason that we're running it over Wrath of God is it is a turn slower, but I like how Hallowed Burial not only gets rid of Thrun, but also gets rid of all of Birthing Pod's Persist creatures, and also gets rid of the Boggles creatures as well. We've run Rune Halo to pretty great effect, even in some of these videos, against Boggles, but right now I'm just sort of hoping not to run into it too much. Shatterstorm for Affinity, Anger of the Gods also for the Pod matchup, Counterflex for combo decks and other control decks, Wear Tear, just a utility card, good against a lot of things. It's also good against Affinity, good against Storm. Grafdigger's Cage for the Pod matchup, Spellskite for Splinter Twin, the Boggles deck. You can also bring it in against aggressive decks because it's a good blocker. Batterskull for any grindy matchup against Jund. Probably bring it against Pod as well. Just anywhere where you need to sort of increase the density of good top decks. And then Engineered Explosives is just another utility card. Probably bring it in against Affinity. Excuse me. Likely against Boggles. Things like that. All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to run. So let's hit the play lobby and go to constructed tournaments, queues. Let's load up Blue White Red Geist and find a modern queue. There's one needed, so we'll go ahead and jump in this one right now. Pay our 2 tickets. Angry Shrub. I feel like I've seen that name before. We will play first. That's great. Colonnade, Scalding Tarn, Plains, Lightning Bolt, Tectonic Edge. This is a good hand. We're definitely going to keep it. We're going to lead with the Colonnade, and then probably follow up with the Scalding Tarn to get Steam Vents. So we'll lead with that Colonnade. Pass the turn. And if you didn't notice in my last video, I am giving the new client a go. I do run it in a virtual machine on a Mac. And I made a couple of changes to the virtual machine configuration that have increased the performance. But also I think that the beta, for all of its downsides, I think it is running a little bit better. So anyway, this is Serum Vision, so could be Storm, could also be Blue-Red Delver. If I think a lot of times if Blue-Red Delver has a Serum Visions and they have a Spell Pierce and they have a Delver, they're probably going to Serum Visions first to set up the Delver, and then they'll be able to untap, play the Delver with Spell Pierce back up, and get a flip because they've set him up with Serum Visions. So we'll see what happens. Take the turn back. That's another pretty good draw. Okay, we'll play the Scalding Tarn, pass the turn. Still do not know what we're facing against. Hopefully a bad deck with a terrible pilot. No, that's not true. That wouldn't make for fun Magic watching. Scalding Tarn. It still could be Blue-Red Delver. It could also still be Storm. Spell's Guide. That's... So we could pass it now. That gives him another land. But I feel like that helps us use our mana a little bit more efficiently. We can path it, untap, play Geist. We're going to lock up our mana anyway. Maybe it doesn't really matter. We're going to tie up our mana next turn anyway. I was thinking about pathing around any counter magic. This is probably Blue-Red Delver because he's playing a Spellskite. I think we'll just let it. We're just gonna let him have it and play our Geist and keep our removal in case we need it for something more relevant. And I'd like to not give him a land just yet. Because if we give him a land, then he's able to untap and play a fourth, giving him more counter magic to hold up, kind of putting him quite far ahead on lands. We're not going to do that. Just waiting for him to pass priority back to me so that I can crack the Scalding Tarn at his end step. We'll go ahead and do that. I don't think Delver plays... Yeah, actually, they may play Mutavault. I was thinking of Tectonic Edge. I was thinking about playing that instead of the Plains, but that doesn't make any sense. I want to get the basics out there. Alright, so we have our Geist resolved. He doesn't have a whole lot of action yet, which is a good thing. We do have a Restoration Angel play. If he flashes in a... If he spends... I don't think he played a land. If he spends 2 mana to, say, flash into Snapcaster Mage, if we swing with Geist to try to kill it, we do have Restoration Angel. We also have Cryptic Command to counter it. We have options. Okay, so 4th Restoration Angel. Actually, we don't have Cryptic Command mana up, so we're either on Bolt a blocker plan. We could also Bolt the Spellskite and save the Path to Exile for something more relevant. That's not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and attack. Oh. My buddy Greg is telling me about his daily event Magic Online woes, so I'm going to go ahead and just put that on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Geist is attacking. Okay, so after damage, we are definitely going to bolt the Spellskite. We ordinarily can't get rid of a Spellskite with a bolt. So we'll kind of take the opportunity to do that, get rid of it, deny him a land. We have not moved to damage yet. He's assigned blocks. And okay, so end of combat, we'll go ahead and bolt here. I think that's fine. It gives him a card. I don't believe that the play is to. It gives him a card, which isn't great, but I don't think we path in response. I don't think we fight that hard over it. We do have a removal spell for it, so and we can just sort of attempt the same thing next turn. Gets one of his counters out of the way. It'd be nice to draw a land to hold, so we can bring up Cryptic Mana, but we'll see what happens. His only real way to kill Geist right now is to put a blocker in front of it. And he's stuck on 3 lands so far. Young Pyromancer is going to cost 2. Delver is 1. We can... Okay, so he played a land, so that means he could, like, say, Pyromancer and hold up like Mana Leak or something. Alright, well, we're just going to do the same thing. He knows we have the Bolt, so I'm not 100% sure what his plan is yet. You know, the other option is if he blocks with the Spellskite, not to do nothing, leave our mana up to possibly Restoration Angel at the end of his next turn. Okay, so he's going to, yeah, he's going to try to flash in a Snapcaster Mage. So let's see. If we path Spellskite now, in order to stop that from happening, he has to begin cracking and spending the mana that he has tapped. If he lets it happen, Spellskite goes away, and we can attempt to path the... If we path Spellskite, or attempt to path Spellskite, he counters it, that's fine, then we can bolt a Snapcaster Mage. If he lets it resolve, Spellskite goes away, and then he holds up counter magic for an incoming Lightning Bolt on the Snapcaster Mage. Our other option is to just wait for him to block and then bounce Restoration Angel, but if he has a counter, that means that not only does Geist die because his block happens, but our Restoration Angel gets countered. So I think we want to hold that resource up. I don't think we want to risk that. Oh crap! I meant to path in response. He's going to target Remand. So that's on the stack. I don't think he can actually reply with it yet. So we're going to path Spellskite. And we're going to attempt to bolt the Snapcaster Mage. So, okay, so he's going to crack mana. I guess he's probably going to get like a Mana Leak or another Remand. No? Okay. Maybe it could be that he's going to flash in another Snapcaster Mage to block Geist. Or maybe did he just... Okay, so I guess he just took that opportunity there to... took that opportunity to crack his lands. Maybe playing around like, I don't know, Shadow of Doubt or Squelch or something. We might have Cryptic up. We're at such a high life total, I don't see why not, just to give us options, just to shock ourselves. We're going to swing with Geist. He's going to take 3. I don't know what he has in his hand, but he's dead to a burn spell, even if he blocks Geist. Don't quite yet have enough for Colonnade, but let's swing. I guess he just hasn't had... He's got to be on Blue-Red Delver. I can see them playing Spellskite to protect Delver and to protect Young Pyromancer. I guess he just hasn't drawn any. So let's see. So Snapcaster Mage. I don't think he has a 2-mana counter. I think that if he did, he would have used it, that 2 blue, to counter the Lightning Bolt. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I'm considering attempting to Snapcaster Mage a Lightning Bolt, because if it resolves, then we just win. He could also have a Spell Snare, and maybe that's why he couldn't counter that Lightning Bolt. So let's see, targeting. Is that remand again? Okay, well, in response to this trigger, we are going to play our own Snapcaster Mage. Actually, oh, we can't blow up any of those lands. They're not basics. I was considering for a moment moving to the next, like blowing up one of his lands and then moving to the next phase, so we couldn't hold up any mana. But no, we're just gonna give this a shot. If he has a counter, he has a counter. If he doesn't, then we likely win the game. So targeting Lightning Bolt. Okay, pass priority on ours. Get ready to... Come on, let me cast that. Oh, yeah, he may just be also looking to counter the bolt itself. Which I guess I'm fine with, but I'm still going to send it at the dome. So I don't think he has an... Unless he has like Combust. Yeah, I mean, we played a little less conservative, but I think every line that we picked was a... If you have the answer, you survive, and if you don't, you die. So I think that was fine. Okay, so against this deck, let's see. I think... Oh, we don't have Relic in the board right now. I was going to say Relic of Progenitus. I don't think we want to bring in... I don't think we want to screw all of our Snapcaster Mages. There's a good chance he will bring in Blood Moon. So I'm going to kind of hedge on that by getting a Wear Tear. I do want to play Anger of the Gods because I think it kills essentially all of his guys. Engineered Explosives on 0, can be really good because it can kill a Flip Delver in addition to any Young Pyromancer tokens. I think Electrolyze is fine. Path to Exile, I think all these are pretty good. Vendilion Click I think is pretty okay as well. Batterskull isn't bad. I think Batterskull, yeah, I think Batterskull's okay in case we're either gonna have a bunch of answers and the game's gonna go long, or he's just gonna be getting really aggressive, in which the life gain could be relevant. Okay, so what do we like? We like the spell snares. I think the mana leaks are good. I think the remands are good. I really think all of this is pretty okay. Cryptic Command might be a little. I like Elspeth for punching damage through with Geist of Sainttraft over all of his guys, but I think actually what we want to do is I think we want to pull out some of, if not, I mean, I don't know if I want to get rid of all of the Geist because they're hard for him to interact with. But I think a couple is good because we're not trying to pressure him early. We're trying to get to a later game. I think Elspeth is fine because she can generate a bunch of blockers and a bunch of value. I guess we take out the third Geist and go more the control route. And we could get rid of a Cryptic Command. It's a little expensive. He's kind of doing things earlier than that. Maybe Thundermaw, Hellkite. I'm going to get rid of the Hellkite because we're not, we want to get him dead, but we're not like trying to attack with the Geist, play a Hellkite, kill him. We're trying to sort of get to a later game and play more powerful spells. So we're going to do this. And let's see what happens. Our opponent still has not decided if he's playing first. I'm just looking at my paper magic cards next to me. I don't talk a lot about paper. What do I have around me? My opponent is taking a while to decide if he's going to play first. I hope I'm not disconnected. I have paper magic cards here. My opponent has disconnected. Is it him or is it me? I'm going to ping the Magic Online server and see if it's me. My connection seems to be alright. I'll just assume it's him. So let's see. What is this? We have Tron. We have Blue-White-Red Geist. We also have recently... I thought about doing this for a while and I decided to pull the trigger. It's a deck that I think is kind of up my alley. Some Kiki-Jiki so that we can convert our Blue-White-Red Geist deck into a Blue-White-Red Kiki deck. I'm excited to do that. I play Paper Magic typically on Monday nights, and I'm not sure if I'm going to take Blue-Tron, Blue-White-Red Geist, or Kiki-Jiki. I think I'm going to take Kiki-Jiki, but maybe Tron. I need to play some more matches with it. Let's see, is there anything in here that you guys might want to see? I got some cool run unhinged lands. We run basically most of the same stuff we do online. Full Art Lightning Helix, F&M promo Path to Exile, Full Art promo Lightning Helix. Those are pretty sweet. Might be my favorite cards in the deck. That's all the really cool stuff we have. I think as far as these staples go, got some foil mana leaks. Not as big of a deal, but why not? They're cheap. I think as far as the foil cards go, I do want to start just kind of blinging out the blue-white-red staples. It's my favorite color in the modern format, and because the format's expensive, I'm not anywhere near getting to a point where I'm gonna have Jund and blue-white-red and Affinity. It's very unlikely I'm gonna have like completely separate, color investments in the modern format. It's just too expensive in paper right now. Blue-Tron, however, is a super fun deck, and it is cheap with regards to all of the other decks. It's not very expensive at all, and man, it is so much fun. You get to play like Wormcoil Engine, which is a sweet card. You get to do ridiculous things like Mindslaver. Blue-Tron, it draws a lot of cards. It has cool recursion tricks with Academy Ruins. And really, that deck is like the just fun deck that I like to play. It's back. All right, cool. All right, so click. So we got Spell Snare, which is good. It's a little slow. It'd be nice to be able to play land and keep it up. We can't play Scalding Tarn to fetch an island. We're going to need to play around, potentially play around Blood Moon anyway. It's kind of land light. And if we go, let's say, like Colonnade, untap, Scalding Tarn, he plays land, we play Colonnade, he plays a land, we play Scalding Tarn, he plays Blood Moon, we're pretty screwed. I think Blood Moon cost 3. I want to double check. I don't mind making our opponent wait a bit. He made us wait. We'll load up Blutron just to open this. Blood Moon, yeah, it's 3, so that would be pretty crappy. The mana's not bad. We have some early interaction, but we suck to a Blood Moon. I guess we'll keep it. It's a little slow, and Blood Moon could be bad, but we do have a Spell Snare, we have a Helix, we have a Vendilion Click if we draw another land. We'll see. I'm going to F6 here. And I'll play our Colonnade and F6 again. F6 just means like I pass priority no matter what he does. I usually will use F4 because that means pass priority until you are able to have a response. Even if it's not relevant, if you can respond, if you press F4, it will stop when you get a chance. Okay, so he did fetch a Steam Vent, so maybe he doesn't have a Blood Moon. We'll play our Scalding Tarn. We drew a Snapcaster Mage. A land would be good. And we hit a 4, that way if he does something, it'll stop and ask us. So maybe he is, because it stopped here, so he hasn't passed priority back. Nope. Now he could also be playing Squelch, which would be not so cool. He could be looking to Squelch our Scalding Tarn. He might have Spell Pierce backup. We have another answer to it anyway, so if he does have a Spell Pierce, then we can get rid of that. We can get rid of it anyway. And if we draw land, we can even Vendilion Click on our turn to dodge any counter magic and tuck something like a Blood Moon. So let's see what he does. Thinking. He must have... Yeah, okay, so he's got the Pierce. We're just going to crack this land in response, get a Steam Vents, accept the fact that the Spell Scout resolves. We will not pay 2, and just move on to our turn. So we drew a land. That's pretty alright. I don't know what's in his hand. Spell Scout's not doing anything right now. And I think I just want to Vendilion Click now to dodge counter magic, and if he has something like a Blood Moon or something that would just wreck us, we can get rid of it. Okay. Oh, okay, so he's not Blue-Red Delver. He's actually, like, he's Splinter Twin. That would explain why we never saw a Delver or a Young Pyromancer. Snapcaster Mage, he's going to probably untap and click us. We could deny him the ability to do that, or we could tuck Deceiver. If we don't tuck Deceiver and he plays Vendilion Click, he takes our Path to Exile, which means he can't get rid of Spellskite. If we take Deceiver, we take away one of his combo pieces. He gets to look at our hand. He can take our Snapcaster Mage or Path to Exile, and he still has a flyer. Well, either let's see. Does Deceiver does not fly? We're gonna take the Vendilion Click. He does not have a Splinter Twin yet, and if we draw a land, we will be on Cryptic Mana. He doesn't have another Spellster, so now we can start attacking with Vendilion Click. Land would have been a little bit better. We can also spell, well... should have brought in, as a side note, I should have brought in Counterflux, whether or not, whether this was Blue Red Delver or whether this was Splinter. Oh, man, my computer is getting annoying. Do we have Counterflux? I'm sure we do. Why wouldn't I have Counterflux? I think I even mentioned it in the deck tech. Yeah, we have Counterflux. So at end step, we're going to electrolyze him. We'll probably find the other land. At least I hope, with this draw and then our next turn draw. Yeah, that's fine. He's going to redirect Electrolyze. We're still going to draw a card, which is mainly what we want. Okay, there's the land, and it opens up Cryptic Mana. So let's attack. And if you play... unless he has another Spell Pierce, once he plays Deceiver Exarch, I think our plan is just to Cryptic Command it. Unless we draw into like another path or something like that. We're going to end of turn... If he doesn't do anything, we're going to end of turn Lightning Helix him. He still has a... No, we tucked the Vendilion Cloak, that's right. So he's got the Deceiver Exarch. Should have written down his hand or screenshotted it or something. Sleight of hand, that's fine. We're not going to fight over a sleight of hand. Although interesting to note, he does have the mana up to Deceiver Exarch and hold up something like Remand or Mana Leak. Yeah, we're gonna... Well, he's just... If we Lightning Helix him again, he's gonna redirect to Spellskite. Maybe we just want to get rid of that Spellskite now. And in the hopes that we draw another Path to Exile. Because right now he's just eating this path. Like, it's ineffectual. So the path, we can do nothing with this path other than get rid of the Spellskite as long as it remains in play. We could also try to bounce the Spellskite with Cryptic Command now and draw a card. What does that do? If we do that, he has to replay it, kind of ties up his mana. If he replays it, we could potentially Snapcaster Mage Spell Snare. Because he's going to be able to like Remand or Mana Leak a Cryptic Command, I think let's do that. We want to return target permanent, draw a card. I'm really not too upset about that. It draws him another card, which is obviously dangerous, but okay, so this will mean that we can path and hold up Cryptic Mana when we need to, so I'm going to play the untapped. I'm not crazily upset about that because it ate a counter. Let's get in for... I'm kind of tempted to... He's got 3 mana, so he can't Deceiver. I'm tempted to just upkeep that Spellskite. So we upkeep this Spellskite. I want to get rid of that. It's removing our ability to burn him out. And we still can hold up Cryptic Mana. We're going to do it. I want to get rid of that Spellskite. We'll just go like this and see what his play is. Now we can potentially end of turn Lightning Helix him to get some more damage in. He's not going to Exarch now. Alright, so we will end of turn Lightning Helix. I'm almost tempted to just run a Snapcaster Mage out there now so that we can deal him 5 next turn. Vendilion Click. I mean, sure. You get to look at our hand and take one of double things that we have. And maybe we'll draw a burn spell or something off his Vendilion Click, and then we do a Tech Edge. So he's at 7. And there's the burn spell we wanted. Yeah, we can still keep it Cryptic Mana up with it. So let's play this Tech Edge. Let's go ahead and bolt his Click. Ooh, or do we want to just, hold on. If we bolt him, he's at 4, and he's dead to a Colonnade. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We don't have the mana to do all of that. I don't know what's in his hand, but we could just attempt to bolt. He has the mana up to Deceiver Exarch this turn. We're just going to try to bolt the Vendilion Click so that we can get ours in, put him to 4, and then he's dead to a Colonnade swing next turn. And if he can't Deceiver Exarch with 4 mana into our Cryptic Command, so we want to leave Cryptic Command up, but we want to get our damage in. We're gonna bolt that. The other part, I think the other reason we don't just want to like bolt him and then hold their Vendilion Click up is if we draw like into a Restoration Angel, then we can potentially get extra value out of Vendilion Click. Surprised he hasn't had like a bolt of his own at this point. I guess he's just running all-in Twin because he hasn't really done anything like disruptive with lightning bolts or anything like that. So, okay, into his turn, we are going to Snapcaster Mage. We could just do Snapcaster Mage Bolt to represent a counter, but I don't really know, like, if he has a counter, then he has a counter. I'd rather, I think, just Snapcaster Mage Electrolyze to get another card. I mean, he can't, like, suddenly Deceiver Exarch now at the end of his turn and kill us, so we still have our turn. However, if we do bolt him, then we play around Spell Pierce. He can't at that point Spell Pierce our Electrolyze. So maybe that's just better in that way. Snapcaster Mage, he's going to get Remand. So there's that on the stack. Ours has not triggered yet. So we're not going to be able to get... I think we can still just... Well, we have to let that happen, so we're letting that happen. Oh, so he's going to remand our Snapcaster Mage. Okay. So we're just going to try it again. and go for the bolt. And no matter what he does, I mean, I think at this point we're going to untap and attack with Click and Colonnade. We also have Restoration Angel. I mean, okay. So he conceded, and we won it back. Yay. Okay, so that looked like all in twin to me. He played Sleight of Hand. He played Serum Visions. He did no Lightning Bolts. He was all in twin. He just never really got the combo off. I thought it was blue-red or blue-red Delver at first, but I should have recognized. I can't remember the immediate spells that he played. I guess blue-red Delver probably doesn't run Spellskite. I think as soon as he played Spellskite, I think it should have been clear that it was all in twin. That way, they're playing Spellskite. That way they can protect their Pestermites and Deceiver Extracts from removal. So that should have been clear. Anyway, we got there. So good.